COVID has changed the world as we know it.
COVID has changed the landscape of travel as we know it. And this is the new world.
The federal judge decided that it's time to take our masks off.
But if your plans take you out of the country, you'll need to know a few things.
Travel insurance will have to be part of those plans.
Travelers coming into the U.S. now have another task.
For the first time in 2 months, the country is again averaging more than 100,000 new cases.
Travel restrictions are tightening once again in Europe.
Is this really a good time to travel?
Absolutely.
Y'all, we've been traveling.
You guys know, we love to travel. We've been traveling for a long time and we've been living abroad since 2017.
In the last couple of months, we've been through the United States, through Mexico, Guatemala,
El Salvador, Costa Rica, and now Panama.
And I gotta tell you, it hasn't always been completely clear on what we needed to get in and out of a country.
So, BC, before COVID.
In the before times,
all you really had to worry about is if you needed a visa to enter a country.
life was easy, y'all. Learn how to say hello, goodbye, where's the bathroom?
Right? Determine what the cultural norms are or the political climate of a place.
At most, you might need to get a onward ticket. But that ain't the case right now.
Now there are so many more things to consider when you're traveling.
We're talking about things like if you need a COVID test and if you do, which one you need.
And how long it's valid for.
Right? We're talking about, do you need to have one 72 hours before you leave? 24 hours before you leave? Oh, what about health insurance? Do you need health insurance before you come to this country?
A lot of different places are requiring some sort of travel or medical insurance now.
The new world. And if you need insurance, what dollar amount do you need? Certain countries are requiring certain dollar amounts.
Yeah.
We're talking about if you need an onward ticket. We're talking about if you need to be quarantined when you hit a country.
So we're gonna dig into all of that, and pretty much we're just sharing the things that we've had to consider, the things that we've been going through as we've been traveling recently.
So we're gonna talk about some different tools and tips that we use to ease our anxieties. We don't have all the answers, you guys. It's a new world. So if you're traveling out here, you know some different tools and tips, educate the public. Hit us up in the comments, let's get a dialogue going. One of the main key factors when determining where you're gonna go and what the restrictions are is if you are vaccinated or non-vaccinated. We found a couple of different tools, but none better than a website called Yarbros. Out of Canada, it gives you a map based on if you are vaxxed, where you can go without restrictions, or if you are unvaxxed, where you can go with or without restrictions. This is a pretty cool, easy map to read and use, and just really beneficial for when you're planning your route. It also gives you a breakdown of what each country is asking for in regards to COVID testing, restrictions, and quarantine. Now, lots of different travel sites have breakdowns, kayak.com, expedia.com. We just like Yarbros because it was really clear and easy to use. So another consideration you're gonna have to check out when you're ready to travel is insurance.
Yes, okay guys, so this can be travel insurance or medical insurance, but it's something that countries are requiring in order to enter.
Now, it would be nice and simple and life would be easy if all countries just required you to have the same thing. But they don't.
They don't. And having insurance to travel is not a new thing. A lot of times people have insurance, traveler's insurance or medical insurance through their credit card, through their company that extends their coverage when they vacation. You can purchase it as an add-on through third-party sites, whatever it may be.
But in the new world, they're asking for some specific things that they weren't asking for before, such as
COVID coverage.
Ching, 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 ching. Thailand, Vietnam, lots of different countries are asking for a specific dollar amount that's specified in that insurance contract for COVID costs.
Or you can go to a country like Belize and realize that they require insurance for all of their visitors, but it's specific.
Yeah.
You have to buy their insurance, and they have a whole program. It's called like the Belize Health Insurance Program or something, but that's what you have to purchase for that country.
Same thing with Aruba. When you get there, you pay, I think it's like $50 for your family or something like that for their specific insurance. So
even Argentina, someplace that we want to go to now, they're requiring travel insurance, but it has to cover COVID, meaning they're looking for coverage for hospitalization stays, quarantine, and any transportation costs related to COVID if you test positive in their country.
So we roll with an insurance company called SafetyWing. We endorse these guys as well for a couple of different reasons.
We like SafetyWing because they're a bit of an innovative insurance company. One of SafetyWing's products is called Nomad Insurance, which we really like because it's a combination of travel insurance and medical insurance. So along with that coverage, you also get COVID coverage, which we really could have used in Cabo. And this is because if you do have to quarantine while you're abroad, they will cover that quarantine stay up to $50 a day for 10 days. So I think it's a pretty awesome program, one that we endorse and one that we would recommend. Check our description. COVID testing. Know before you go.
You have to do some research, you guys. You need to find out what countries you're going to be flying to and flying through.
Yes. Look, you don't want to be that person stuck at the airport counter crying because you got the wrong test or you didn't even have a test because you didn't realize it was needed.
And it does get a little complicated. Like I was saying, book a flight going to Southeast Asia and you got to stop in Japan or China or someplace before you get there. You have to meet that country's requirements, that country's COVID requirements as well. So you need to really understand what your route is and really understand what those different countries are asking.
Right.
Damn, I missed it before times, but this is all stuff that you need to deal with and things that you need to buckle down and do your research. If we know we need a test before we leave a country to get into another country, we generally ask our Airbnb host or the hotel where their closest testing site is.
Like you can't forget. Like, yeah, you might have to take a COVID test to get into a country, but if you have to re-enter back into your home country,
like the US,
you gotta know if they require a test as well and where you can get that test at your vacation destination.
Right, so some different things that you can do. If you talk to your Airbnb host or you talk to your hotel and they don't know.
Look, somebody knows where the testing facilities are.
If there's a benefit to being in a pandemic, it's that everybody's gone through the same thing. So when you roll through a country, you're easily able to identify testing centers.
Right. Now, I will get in the Facebook groups for wherever we're vacationing at or traveling through and find out where those testing facilities are and how much we might be expected to pay.
Worst case scenario, you do a search and plug it into the browser and tons of different testing sites will appear. Now, for us, when we left Mexico to get into the United States, we need to have an antigen test within 24 hours.
Yep.
Easy peasy, they're all over Mexico. Did that, got in the United States. And now it's time for us to go to Guatemala. They require any COVID test. They just wanted a COVID test within 72 hours, I believe. But we went to go get our test in the States, and this is a little hustle going on where they're telling you you can get a free test at CVS or Walgreens, but we can't guarantee that the country that you're going to will accept this free test. But if you pay $100 for this antigen test or $300 for this PCR test, then we can guarantee that they will accept these results.
You know, it's not so bad when you think about just getting one, but we a package deal, you know, when you think about having to pay that times two.
Please.
And we were like, we'll take our chance.
You took the free version. And so far, the countries that we've gotten in and out of check the dates and they check to see what type of test you had. It's not even that deep. So, yeah, man. Just be advised. Going into countries, you need to know what tests you need to have. Getting back into your home country, you need to know what tests you need to have. And the different countries that you pass through, you need to know what tests you need to have. So, kind of a new rollout with COVID is some more paperwork.
Yeah, more paperwork. We've been seeing health declaration forms pop up or some sort of like locator form or entry forms that are required by countries now.
Pretty much want you to state that you ain't got COVID, you ain't been around nobody with COVID, and sign your name on a dotted line. Every country that we've been through and in so far offer a digital form, and we strongly recommend downloading that digital form, do a screenshot, and keep it moving.
Now, it's a pretty quick form. Like, it's something you can do while you're deplaning and quickly fill it out and, you know, take a screenshot of the QR code that they give you. But yeah, like you said, we like to be prepared, and just because I know, like, I will forget if I leave it for the last minute. So if we know that a country requires it, like Panama, I completed it like maybe 2 weeks before we left Costa Rica, and we had it ready, took the screenshot, and we felt comfortable going through that process. So that's definitely one thing that's easy to overlook. Like, if you aren't checking airline websites, if you aren't checking the consulate or embassy websites of the country you're going to,
Right.
you might easily miss this form.
I'm gonna throw an extra plug in here. You also really need to know where you're going when you put your feet on the ground. We arrived in Panama and they pulled us out of line and processed us really quick, but they really grilled us about, where are you going? What is the address of the place that you're going to? Lots of countries have saw a large influx of people due to COVID. So they are being very stringent about the people that are coming in and want to make sure that you aren't staying someplace illegal. Like short-term stays in Panama are illegal.
Yeah,
so.
that's tricky. Like specifically with Panama, if you are staying in an Airbnb for less than 45 days, then you probably should not say that you're staying at an Airbnb.
Right. Short travel story. We got stuck in Haiti when we landed in Haiti once, and they were asking us, what is our hotel? Oh, that doesn't exist. What address are you using?
And we didn't know because we were staying with a friend.
Yeah, young rookies didn't understand the game. Well, our friend is probably outside. Can we have them come in here and give them the address? Yeah. They're like, I tell you what, your wife can stay here and you can go out there and get the address.
And they took our passports.
They took our passports. I had to go out, pay somebody to use their address and come back in here to get my wife out of immigration jail. You know what I'm saying? And while we were in Panama, there were 5 people who were in immigration jail. I don't know what the case was, but they were all behind this little rope. I don't know if they didn't take their tests correctly. I don't know if they were saying they were in an Airbnb or not, but you don't want to be that person behind that rope.
You know what? Someone that I know, they said they always just say like the Radisson.
The Radisson or Hilton.
Or, some hotel that's usually in every destination. They just say they're staying there.
We're not telling you to do this, but it worked for them.
One way to also check on if a destination is requiring certain travel documents or health forms is to head to iVisa.com. They're pretty good also with keeping up to date on what requirements are being issued for different countries. You just list the country you're coming from, the country you're going to, and they'll let you know, like, do you have to quarantine? What COVID test is needed if there is one? What restrictions are in place and what forms you need to fill out.
The paperwork, you guys. iVisa is awesome for getting your paperwork processed for a nominal fee.
True. Now look, I will say, like, they will do that stuff for you. If there is a health declaration form, you can pay them to do it. But
you can also just check to see if these forms are necessary.
And then go to the government website and download the form yourself.
That's what we do. There's a conversation in the travel community right now regarding travel staying affordable. With all the different added costs of insurance and COVID tests and all these different things, is travel still affordable for the regular Joe? I think the answer to that question is not a resounding yes, but a yes. I think that you have to prioritize, and I do think that there's going to be some moves made to keep travel affordable. It's in countries' best interests to get the average Joe's money. The average Joe that's going on vacation, the average Joe that's working abroad, they want that money. And I believe that as travel dips because of all these different added costs, we're going to see that a lot of these different tests and different costs are going to be minimized.
Studies have shown that just after a spike of COVID, a wave of COVID is over, there is like a spike or a surge in traveling. People want to come out here. People want to be out here. They want to be through with COVID, of course. I'm preaching to the choir. But all of these regulations might be a hamper on some people's plans. For us, it's not going to stop us. If anything, it's made us more diligent about doing our research about these countries before we arrive. I'm not going to lie and say that travel hasn't gotten complicated, because it has. But for us, travel is worth it.